Thank you.
You're welcome.
Let's go right here.
All right.
Attention passengers, this is a reminder that the Take Flight podcast will begin boarding in 20 minutes. Please gather your thoughts, secure your mindset, and prepare for elevation.
Welcome to the Take Flight podcast, where self-care is your passport, self-love is your carry-on, and purpose is your destination. We're your hosts. I'm Paris.
And it's your boy, Spee.
And today is day one, episode 1. And today we're going to be talking about how our journey begins.
You know, the name of the title of this first episode is A Journey Begins. And, for me and her, this is a new journey. I met her off the strength. I met her off the internet and we clicked. We share our interests, and man, here we are starting episode 1 of our podcast. And I hope that y'all stick around and, allow us to grow together and with y'all. That's the goal.
For
and
sure.
Learn stuff from us.
Yes. I just want to start by saying it's crazy how true and how factual manifestation is. I mean, I knew I wanted to start a podcast this fall, and honestly, just hopping on Threads, seeing Speed make his posts about wanting to start a podcast and just honestly reaching out, and this guy just really brought this to life. So I'm just grateful to be here, grateful to have crossed paths with you, and I'm just excited for all that's to come with this.
And I appreciate you. One of the biggest things I look for when it comes to collabing with different people is consistency. Mm-hmm. I started talking to her, and she replied back, and I had to wait 2 or 3 days for her to get back to me, and boom, I'm like, all right, cool. That's somebody I want to work with, and look where we're at now. So I'm happy about it. And I hope that y'all have a little bit of grace. We're in different areas.
Yeah.
Some of y'all might know me for different podcasts. Have a little grace and allow us to grow, and everything is going to advance. The camera angles,
Mm-hmm.
our production team, mics, a whole bunch of different things, and so.
But what you can expect from us is true authenticity, really seeing us for who we really are, watching us grow, watching us shape and form and mold. But most importantly, really setting the stage and really delivering a message that is helpful for all people in all stages of life. We're here to really pour into our people, pour into our community and our audience, because, life is what you make it. And we really want everyone to have and live their best life.
And that's always the goal. That's always the goal. I always wanted to talk about self-improvement. I used to call myself the love doctor growing up, because I feel like I knew everything about relationships and how to stay in one. And, I've been through my own little, group of relationships growing up since kindergarten. I was dating since kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 29 now, so.
A baby. You didn't even know what love was at that time.
I feel like I did.
How? You got to explain
I feel like I did, because it's like I grew up in a 2-parent household.
Mm-hmm.
So I always felt like, that's what was needed.
Okay.
I only knew a mom and a dad.
Mm-hmm.
You love each other, you loyal to each other, and that's what I knew. And so when I was dating, you loyal to me, you ain't dating other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's me and you. And so I at least knew that concept.
Okay, so in kindergarten, did you give a girl candy, give her the little love tap? How did she know, that's what you was about?
Basically, like, I would call all the girls in I would call all the girls in my class sweet delicious hot dogs.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Crazy. I used to love hot dogs growing up, so that's where that came from. And then but man, I look at how I dated then and how I date now. It's not too much different. I mean, I feel like I was kind of smart back then. Loyalty, I didn't know all the things that go into it, but at least loyalty was like, you're mine, I'm yours, where nobody else's. You know what I'm saying? But
all right, okay.
So,
well, what I will say is, by sticking in with us, we're going to really define and tell you the differences of self-care, self-love, and purpose. And honestly, speaking of those, Spee, how would you define, let's start with self-love since we already been talking about it.
And I was like, when I bring this moment up, I hope it didn't cause any tension, because when I hear the word self-love, I don't like that term too much.
Really?
I don't like it too much. Now, the Bible says, I'm a believer. The Bible says, love each other, love one another as you love yourself. So I'm not against it. But it also says in the end times, people will be lovers of themselves.
Okay.
So you got to have a healthy medium. You know what I'm saying? I look at it, instead of self-love, I look at it as self-respect.
Okay.
Self-worth. Respect others as you will respect yourself. So that's how I kind of look at love. So I'm not against the word. I just hope people get a real genuine understanding of what it is to love yourself, and that's respect yourself, love have self-worth, know who you are.
Facts.
You're made in the image of God. So know that you are our king, and you handle yourself, in that way. What would you say is how you feel about self-love and your purpose? Well, we gonna stick to self-love. So
okay.
How you feel about self-love?
Over the years, I've really understood that it's important to love yourself first, because if you don't love yourself, you start defining your love based on material things, other people, and you're not really able to know what you need and what you want. So I honestly feel self-love is important. It's important to find it and understand what it means to you. And I feel as though it's okay to be selfish, but selfish in a way where you're able to pour into you. Because a lot of times we try to pour into other people and help other situations, but we don't even have our cup full. So we're depleted. We lack the energy and just not able to move in our best capacity. So I feel as though we have to understand how we need to love ourselves, loving everything about us, head to toe, flaws and all, because God made us as a creation. He made us perfectly in his image. And within that, we have to learn to love our one life that we have and really make the best of it. And really the best way to know is by really sitting down, having time to yourself, and figuring out what it is that makes you you.
Amen. Amen. And to me, love is self-sacrificial. You know what I'm saying? You got to put yourself first, of course, because how are you going to be any good to anybody if you're not good to yourself? Of course.
Exactly.
But I always believe that love is to be given instead of kept. Everybody's like, I love me. It's like, do you love others though?
Right.
And that's where the tension comes, because you easily get mad at people. Why are you getting mad at everybody if you love them? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you love your kid, you might be upset with them, but you're not gonna be like, oh, I can't stand you. You feel me? So I feel like there's a healthy medium between it.
I agree.
And that's how I kind of feel about it all.
Okay, and then what about self-care? What's your take on self-care and caring for yourself and for others?
Yeah, self-care, and that goes a little bit we can go, that breaks it down a little bit even more, because self-care can be like how you keep yourself. Like right now, I ain't had a haircut in about 2 weeks. So
that's why that hat is always on your head.
I'm always on my, you know what I'm saying? Even then, I have like, I'm gonna break into, I have like certain insecurities where I always keep a hat on. If you look at my old pictures when I was a kid, I always had a hat on. As I've gotten older, I've been more comfortable with it. You know, you love me, you love me, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Always been like very insecure about my forehead and stuff like that. But it's whatever. It's cool now. Like I realize, girl, you know, it'd be like a girl thing. Girls love you regardless. But that's self-care, keeping yourself cut, getting checks by the doctor if you out here doing things you shouldn't be doing.
Or even if you are not, just still getting checked.
Yeah,
because
you might have diabetes. You don't even know.
Right,
You feel
right.
me? Man, like the list can go on about when it comes to self-care. But that's like I think a subcategory to self-love.
Okay.
You know, so that's how I kind of feel about that. So,
Okay.
And your thoughts on self-care? I mean, I feel like women, they
Love it. Yes.
Women, they go
essential,
above and
like,
beyond for self-care.
Yes.
You feel me? So
I would say like self-care for me is having a routine that just makes me be able to pour into me, get myself ready for the week, get my mind where it needs to be. So self-care for me can look like going to get a pedicure or going to get a manicure. It's, you know, doing my hair, just having my Sunday wash routine where I just wash and condition my hair and I play my music and I just vibe, you know. Self-care to me is just really getting myself in the groove of what's going to uplift my spirit. You know, self-care also for me is journaling. It's reading my Bible. It's doing the things that's going to fill my spirit and my energy for like positivity and for greatness, because I look at myself as a very optimistic type of person, and I feel as though I'm that type of person because of my self-care routine, because I love myself, and I feel like those things are important, and I know that it's easy to lose it. We're busy, you know, we lack a lot of time sometimes, whether it's with work, taking care of children, traveling, you know, just our day-to-day routine, going to school, but I've learned through my life to being able to find time for those things, because if you don't, you're going to lose yourself without even realizing you lost yourself until it's too late.
Hey, I mean, y'all heard it here. You know, if I'm a double down on that, you know, she said pedicure. Men like to look dressed nice. You know what I'm saying? Gotta definitely care about yourself. Let you know that, you know, you don't just wear anything. You know, when you go out, you wear some stuff that actually matters and all that good stuff. So.
Yeah, and just figuring it out for yourself, what it looked like. Thinking about what makes you happy, what makes you feel good in those moments. Because we all have our times, you know, even no matter what we're going through, when we have a smile on our face, where when we go to bed and we lay our head down at night, we say we had a good day. But thinking about what are those moments that made your day great? You know, what's those moments when you were by yourself that really made you feel as though you were who you are, who you supposed to be? Because those are the moments that really define who you are and what makes you happy. It all really comes from within.
Right. So going through the checklist of self-love, self-care,
and now purpose.
Now it's purpose. And I started, man, look, I got one purpose. Love God and love everybody else. That's my purpose. So whatever I do is to love God and love everybody else. So I should always be helping. If I'm not helping, my job ain't a good job. That's how I feel about it. If I'm not helping others, I'm only helping myself, then I need to stop that job, because my purpose, God put you on this earth for a purpose to, one, glorify him, and then help others, because everybody isn't in the same, you know, like mindset. Everybody, you might happy, but there's 10 people in your neighborhood that are going through depression, dealing with deaths and stuff like that. So my mission is to help those people.
Okay. I would say my purpose is pretty similar to yours. I always would tell myself my goal is to make the world a better place. And I feel as though by making the world a better place is to be able to provide education, to provide love, to provide care and support, especially to the communities where people don't have that type of person to depend on. I know growing up for myself, I really didn't have a role model. I mean, I loved the people around me, but it was really never a person that I looked up to. So I had to learn to look up to myself. And then from there, really understanding what it was that I wanted to do and what I wanted to be. But I know, just like in a sense of, in high school, I was a cheerleader, and I really enjoyed cheering because I enjoyed pepping up the crowd, making the crowd happy, having the team, hear our cheers and really get them into the game. But it was always to uplift someone else. And I was always that friend, when someone was going through it. I'm always business minded in a sense of just solving problems, how we can work a situation out, but also be a better version of us. And within that, it was just always having the purpose of helping others and getting someone to be able to mentally just understand who they are and being happy for what they are. Because we're going to go through the ups, the downs. Life is a roller coaster, but even during those down moments, we still got to be happy because life is a gift. And as long as you always speak love and light into everything you do, you will align to your purpose. I'm also a big believer, like artists, people who can sing, draw, play an instrument. That's a God-given gift. Not everyone has the ability to do those things. And when something is within you that someone else doesn't have the capabilities of doing, that's a purpose. That's your God-given assigned purpose.
I'm with it. I do a lot of different things, and people be like, "Speed, you so talented." I'm like, bro, I don't know where this came from. I just woke up and I just I'm gonna do it, and here I am doing it. So it has to be.
And you're
from
doing
God.
a great job, I must say.
You know what I'm saying? So that's definitely a blessing. But man, and that's what we just told y'all is the basis of this podcast: self-love, self-care, and purpose. But let's get into the nitty-gritty of who we are.
Yes.
So I got a question for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
Who is Paris?
Okay. So I'm originally from Michigan. Currently we have our podcast based here in Phoenix, Arizona. And I am an individual who always was looking for something new, something different. When I was in my early 20s, I decided to take a leap of faith and move here to Phoenix, Arizona with literally just my 2 dogs, my clothes and everything packed up in my car, got in the car with my mom and my best friend and made the journey here. All I knew is that for the opportunity to present itself that it did, that it was my purpose to be here in Phoenix, Arizona. And so I'm someone that likes to take risks. I'm someone who likes to have something to look forward to in life and embracing the journey. I'm also someone who I love helping people. My background is in human resources, and I actually got into the field because I was working for an employer that I just felt like wasn't really taking the feedback of their employees, like listening to the people who make up the company. And from there, I'm like, you know what? I really want to be in a position where my voice matters, where I can advocate for others, where I can understand issues and really play a major part of a business success. So I decided, I really want to transition into a role where I'm able to speak life into others. I'm able to make decisions and move in a direction that really really creates purpose within not just myself but other people. And then like really outside of that, I'm a creative individual. I like to create journals. I have a pet boutique business where I create all types of accessories for pets. And I really found myself when I'm able, it's probably because I'm left-handed. You know, they always say those lefties are more creative in spirit. But I feel as though during those creative times, I'm just able to release just the world of everything that's going on with myself. And I just find a lot of joy in that. So yeah, that's a big part of who I am.
I dig it.
What about you?
You know, I'm Speed. I'm very short with everything. People get mad that I'm very nonchalant. I work whatever there is to do to make some money, to feed my family, to be successful, to please God. I'm there. I do tattoos, photography, videography, make music, 3D printing, 3D design, graphic design. You know, I do I can cook. You feel me? And that's all I'm about, because it's like whatever I can do to make some money. You know, people be like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm like, you don't want to make no money. I'm trying to make some money.
Yes,
you
facts.
feel me? Very loving person. I'm from, Illinois, and I was like, it was about time. My auntie, she was like, you trying to come out here? I was like, yep. Moved out here 1 month later. And I've been here about 6 years, and maybe I'll stick around. Who knows? We'll see. I got some ties that makes me want to stick around. A lot of things I invested with friends, and stuff like that. So that's why I'm still here. So.
Do you see here being forever home?
Maybe. I wanted to go to Vegas and see how that was, but if I find me a little nice lady that wants to stay, I'll stay.
Okay. Either way, ain't a bad move. Vegas is right up the street.
Right.
A lot of money can be made there. Vegas never sleeps, so can't lose either way.
Right.
All right. I have a question for you.
What's good?
What would you say to someone who feels like they don't have purpose yet?
I would say do what you enjoy. Figure out the things that you enjoy. If you enjoy cooking, you should cook. And then, if I'm gonna go off what I feel like the purpose of life is to, love God, love others, take the cooking, make more than enough, and then go feed the homeless in your city. Now, you might not make a whole bunch of money from it, but, overall, you'll make a lot of people happy. And then when you pass away and stuff like that, you will be remembered as the person that helped the community, instead of like, oh, I got rich and then forgot about people. Like, help, and I could be, maybe you're an artist, draw people. People like art too. You'd be surprised how many people are fulfilled just by like seeing art and like hanging up art in their house or things like that. So,
okay,
that's what I would say. What about you?
I would say, to circle back on that, if they felt they haven't found purpose yet, is honestly to just keep living. Honestly, when you look within yourself, you experience life, and you have the ability and the time to sit still, things will start coming to you in your mind and allow you to see like things that's making you happy, that really defines where you want to go. With experiences, with decisions, you really can figure out more of your purpose by just where life is directing you towards. You just always got to have your mind open to see like, okay, in this season, what is my life trying to show me right now? And then two, when it comes to like having a God-given talent, whether you can sing, you can play an instrument, you can play, you can act, you have a great memory, you're good at math, things of that sort. I feel as though like God put those things in you for a reason. Not everyone has the ability to do those things. And when you are special, when you have that gift and that talent, I honestly feel that is a purpose that God puts in you and God put purpose in you to give back to the world. It's just up to you to really see it as such, to have the confidence to want to partake into it, and to really define how you can allow that to be who you are. Because ultimately, if it's in you and you have the skills to do it, just like reading music is very difficult, but I have a younger brother who can just listen to a song and just play it by ear. Things like that really just shows me that's your purpose. You are actually put on this earth to do music, and it's awesome that some people have it easy like that, to really have it already shown and given to you what your gift is. And for us and for others, like myself, it took time to figure that out, but I feel as though when you really sit down and you think about the things that you enjoy, the ways you can give back to the world and to the community, you'll be able to find your purpose and really enjoy the life you live and the things that you do.
Facts. For sure. Man, I got a question for you.
Okay, I'm ready.
What was your life before, self-care and self-love?
Ooh. Believe it or not, my life before self-care and self-love was not good. It was really a dark place, believe it or not. And it was like that because I really didn't take time for myself and really understand who I was. Before who I am today, I was in a marriage, and that lasted for a little over 3 years, and I felt as though I really lost who I was within that. I really just gave myself, my time, my effort into the other person that I was with, and I really didn't even care about self-care, self-love. I just really cared about us. And then even prior to that, just dealing with different health issues and dealing with just being in my 20s and trying to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. It really was not a good place or time for me. I was working a lot of 9-to-5s, and I knew the 9-to-5 life wasn't for me. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Just the way my mind thinks, just the way I problem solve. I just knew that there were more to life than working at 9-to-5. And it was tough. It was tough trying to figure out that direction and understanding what God was trying to pursue inside of me. And also within that, just trying to really enjoy myself and my own company. I felt as though during my younger years, I was always around friends, family, out and about, really living, but not really taking the time to self-dive into who Paris is and who I'm capable of being, and my joys and my talents and my gifts. So yeah, I would say it was definitely a learning curve. It was a journey, and I'm happy for where I'm at now, for the self-care and self-love that I've been able to establish along the way. And even though my past wasn't the greatest, and it came from a place of growth, I'm glad I went through that, because if I did not have the ability to go through those tough times and go through those trials, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't know challenges. I wouldn't know change. I wouldn't know growth without those moments. So, yeah.
I dig it.
What about
I hope y'all
yourself?
learning. I was a whore.
Just straight to the point.
I was out here doing anything I could. Lost my virginity at 14. Freak by 16, wild and by 18, 19, got worse, 21, met God, 25, still struggle with it, definitely changed a lot, but still not perfect. Now that I'm 29, 4 years later, after, really coming back to God. And, man, I was crazy. I was still like a loving person. One thing nobody could ever say, I was a bad friend. I still came through for people at that time, so nobody can say everything. I think is more personal than how I treated other people. I feel like if I'm not treating a woman right, I'm just using them as a sex object. That's obviously not treating them like respect.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would say. But other than that, I was just, that was pretty much it. I was a whore. I don't know. Thank God I'm not the same no more. That's all I'm gonna say. Thank God I am not the same anymore, man. And I can only imagine what I'm gonna be in the next few years. So, amen. Man, let me see. I got one more question for you.
Okay. Well, let me ask this next question then next.
I got you.
All right. So, what's one self-care practice you wish you took seriously sooner?
Yeah, staying to myself. Staying to myself. Leaving these women alone. You know, when you out here having sex with everybody, it's like you don't really care about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like you're a king. You're more precious than a diamond. You feel me? You don't let everybody touch your jewelry. So why are you letting everybody touch you? And that's how I kind of feel about, like, if I could go back, man, I would have waited. I probably try to be a virgin still to this day.
Okay.
You know, because it's like it goes on, you know, everything that goes into self-care. You know, your sex life lets you know, do you care about yourself or are you a sex object? You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's what I would change. I think that would be like the biggest thing I would change, because it really like messes up how my life is. You know, when I look at, you know, women, it's like everything rooted from that. Like obviously I was an artist before that, but it was like, okay, now I want some tattoos because, you know, the women there. And it's like, man, life just started changing. Look at me now. I'm like tatted up head to toe. I feel like it's messed up certain job opportunities, you know, and it's just for the sake of the women, you know. And so I would really go back and really care about myself more and stop dealing with these women, because that stuff not only messed up the outside, but it also messed up a lot of my mental, a lot of my emotions, and you know, I'm paying for it today, you know.
Where do you think your life would have been differently if you would have waited?
But I wouldn't even be in Arizona. I probably wouldn't know half the people I know today. Who knows? Like, life has its weird courses, you know. Maybe I would have just took a different route, because I was a genius in high school. I graduated early, good grades, but
The women.
weed, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't smoke weed. That took a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of things out of my life. So, man, I wouldn't be a lot of places right now if it wasn't for that. So, but you know, canvas on the past only can, you know, make the future better. That's what I'm on today.
Okay. Well, to circle back on that question for myself, a self-care practice I wish I would have took seriously sooner is definitely working out. Believe it or not, I'm down 10 pounds, which is crazy insane. But just in more of the physical aspect of working out, I started going to Hot Mat Pilates. In my Hot Mat Pilates classes, it's like 102, 104 degrees. It's humid. It's 45 minutes. It's a lot of strenuous activities, up and down and movement. And from that, I've honestly learned mental strength. I didn't realize how strong I was mentally until I started going to that class. And what I mean by that is, when I first started that class, I'm like, oh my God, it's hot. Whoo, I'm tired. Let me take a break. I'll be okay. I'll just get back up this next rep. I can cut myself short. I'll be okay. I done more last time. I'll be better next time. But once I really like locked in and told myself, nah, P, keep going. You got this. Finish last. I will say that first class that I did not stop, I did not quit, I was the last to finish my reps, really changed my mental game. And when I did that first time each class I went, I said, I did it once, I can do it again. And then in that moment, it made me realize that I'm in control of my thoughts. Your thoughts will try and tell you one thing, but it's up to you to let the thoughts know, nah, I got this. I'm stronger than what you say. I don't believe what you're telling me. I can do this. And from that moment, I will say it really unlocked the beast in me that allowed me to really just push myself past my limits, not only when I'm working out, but in life too. And within that, I've also lost weight, like I had recently said. I'm eating healthier. I'm able to mentally just be more present without the brain fog. And it's just a great place. And I honestly wish I would have started this sooner, but everything happens for a reason, and life really puts you on a course when you're supposed to be on it. And I'm just glad to be where I'm at today. So yeah.
Amen. You know, and like she said, man, like everything matters, you know. The things we eat, the things we do, the weed, the drugs, like if you want to be the best, and like that's like the whole, like I forgot the word I even used. Like that's like the whole like idea of this podcast is to be, we're trying to elevate y'all, you know what I'm saying? Take flight. We're trying to elevate y'all, and you really need to be in your best mindset.
That's first.
And that's, you know, put the drugs down, eat better. You know, one of the biggest things the way I got into the Lord was I was reading other books. Mm-hmm. I was reading other books about health, and the books always, it was weird because I wasn't even reading books that like had something to do with each other, but it was like I read a book called Why We Get Sick, motivational books, brain fog books, and they all said the same thing: the food you eat, exercise, spirituality. Mm-hmm. Those three things, all those books talked about. If you get those intact, you're gonna grow. You're gonna be something serious.
Facts. So. And even with that is you could tell yourself it, but outside of telling yourself, you have to do it. You have to really take action, because that's where it really happens. You know what I'm saying? It starts with the vision. It starts with, okay, I want to lose weight, or I want to eat healthier. But from there, you have to really define what that looks like for you. And don't compare it to anyone else's journey. Don't try to figure it out based on what other people are doing or what Google says to do. You have to tell yourself, okay, I'm capable of working out this many times a week. I want to lose this many pounds. But telling yourself that first, then do the research. So that way it makes sense for you in your journey.
Right. We're going to do it on crunch time. We're going to do this crunch. Rush this. How would you describe yourself in this season?
Ooh, I will say in this season, I am in my my surrender mode. Really just going with the unknown of life. Usually I'm a planner. I'm planning the trips that I'm taking. I'm planning the money I'm saving, where I'm moving to, just everything in that flow. But I realized that sometimes God just wants you to surrender your life to Him and allow Him to lead the way. So this next year, 2025, and we're going to transition into 2026, is really just about me surrendering my life to God and really taking the path of becoming a full-time entrepreneur and just having faith and really being in a place where I am manifesting my life by taking action and helping others along the way.
Gotcha. And I'm going to double down with saying, describe me this season. I'm a hustler and I'm a lover. I'm here to love everybody. I don't care what our differences is. I'm here to love you. Be your best friend. We might not even agree on nothing, but I'm going to love you, right? That's number one. Mm-hmm. And I'm a hustler.
Hustler, baby. Hustle.
I'm not letting no one stop my hustle. I got things to do. I got mouths to feed. I want to make sure my mom go on vacation. She getting old. She's 65. I want to make sure she get all these things before she go. Same thing for my dad. Same thing for my parents, my brothers and their nieces. Mm-hmm. That's how you could describe me. A hustling lover.
Okay.
You feel me?
I like that. I like that combo. That compound words.
You feel me? But man.
But yeah, if you made it this far, we appreciate you. Like, thank you for tuning in to our first episode of where we just define more of what to expect of us, of our station, of our podcast, and who we are. We're going to be authentic. We're going to really show up and show you the different ways that you can really align yourself with your purpose, different self-care, self-love tips and techniques, so that you can live your best life.
And you know what she said. You know, and I love y'all. She love y'all. We love y'all.
And what's next? Make sure you subscribe to our channels. We're here on YouTube. Make sure you follow us on TikTok and on Instagram, because we got a lot to drop for y'all. A lot of gems to be coming your way. Okay. And
Yep.
yeah,
That's it.
Well, before we leave,
What's up?
we got a reflection. So we're all about taking action. So the reflection question that we have for you today is, where are you at? And when it comes to not choosing yourself, what is one small step you can take this week to change that?
You know, pause. Rewind if y'all need to. Think about it.
And answer in the comments below. We will make sure to respond to as many people as we can, but definitely let us know where you're at and what your goals are for this week.
And that's what it is. Take Flight Podcast.
Stay tuned to our next episode.